Today, Jason's taking you through the 10 ways you can automate your marketing to get even more done faster, more efficiently, on time, so you can get back to doing the things you do best, helping buyers and sellers. Enjoy this week's show.
Today, we're going to talk about 10 ideas to get started with marketing automation. Now, marketing automation is kind of a buzzword. Let's kind of put it in a proper context. I am not assuming you're running some giant enterprise level team with all kinds of software and staff and people to deploy a fully autonomous automated marketing system. To the contrary, I'm looking for the ways to get started. Automation is sort of a word that can be misleading because there's a difference between fully automated and partially automated. So today, we're going to talk about things that are somewhat automated, but they're also just efficiencies and streamlined ways of enabling you to scale and grow what you're doing in your marketing operations. Whether you're a brand new agent, a solo agent, you run a team, a big team, a little team, this is for everybody. If you're looking to figure out how to scale your marketing operations, then what you're really looking for is ways to automate what you're doing in your marketing. And this is a conversation that you can't miss. Welcome to This Week in Marketing. My name is Jason Pantana, your instructor, and I am so glad you're here for this episode for us to talk about marketing automation. Now, if you're new to the channel, please make sure to tap that big red subscribe button and hit the bell next to it to enable notifications. So whenever Tom or me or any videos get added to this channel, you're the first to know about it. So you can implement everything you're learning in these videos into your business and actually get the effects, actually get the results of doing the work. So without further ado, let's dive into 10 ideas to get started with your marketing automation. First up, you need a welcome email campaign. Now, let me kind of break this down. Imagine for a moment, and this is more like an implied you should be doing this. Imagine for a moment, you're sending out a weekly newsletter. So perhaps it's a content recap, all your content published across social throughout the week. You recap it in a digest-like email, a newsletter once a week, something like that, which wink, wink, you should be doing that. Well, imagine if when somebody opts into that email list, whether on your website or however they opt themselves in to receive your emails, imagine sending out an automated welcome email. And in that automated welcome email, which by the way, is kind of a standard ability of most email service providers, MailChimp, BombBomb, Constant Contact, most email service providers have the ability to do an automated welcome campaign. That campaign should include a few different sections. It should begin with saying, hey, thank you for subscribing. Here's what you can expect going forward in terms of the frequency of these emails and all those kinds of details. It's also an opportunity to say like, hey, here's what you've missed. Here's our best performing content so far. So you get kind of caught up with what's come before this email. So you're ready to rock with the first issue that comes out. And then last, it's an opportunity to say to people, hey, if you're a Gmail user, an Exchange user, a Yahoo user, whatever your mailbox provider is, take these steps to add us to your address book, because by being added to the address book of those different mailbox providers, it actually provides you a way to circumvent spam filter issues that you may run into down the road. So the first marketing automation idea that you need to put into effect is a welcome email campaign for anybody who opts in or subscribes to your weekly newsletter, which by extension, you also need the weekly newsletter. Next up is personalized owner updates. Now here's what I'm imagining. You might want to use a tool like, and I got no favorites per se, but maybe it's like HomeBot or milestones.ai, or maybe it's Realm Home. It's one of those tools that you can actually hook up all the homeowners in your database to, and it will send them kind of really dynamic updates about the value of their property, what's going on in the community, and it helps to automatically position you as the person who's keeping them in the know in terms of what's happening with their property, their largest asset, the thing they own. So to me, a marketing automation that just makes sense is having something like this in place where it's automatically keeping all the homeowners in your entire database, past clients, sphere of influence contacts, whatever, keeping them apprised of what's going on with their home value and just their home ownership experience by and large. Now, kind of in the same topic of personalized homeowner alerts and updates, this one's low tech, but you should go to the MLS and set up listing alerts for whenever somebody buys a home with you, like they use you as the buyer's agent, you should set up listing alerts around that property in terms of comparable homes that might hit the market in the neighborhood or whatever, so that your MLS sends the listing alerts to the homeowners and they can see what's going on in the community in terms of active sales hitting the market. That means they're getting their basically HomeBot, Realm Home, whatever software you want to use kind of idea to keep them apprised of what's going on with their home value, what's going on in the market at large, and then specific alerts that say, hey, one of your neighbors just listed their home for sale and I want to keep you in the know. Marketing automation idea number 3 is a contract to close video email sequence. Now, Erica Wolf, known as the Wolf of Real Estate in Jupiter Hills, Florida, she put a system like this in place. And let me kind of break it down for you because it's brilliant. She took the purchase agreement in her marketplace and she documented what are all the gaps and waypoints and steps over the life of a deal, chronologically speaking, that a buyer faces, that a seller faces. And then for each one, she made a video for buyers and for sellers of every little step in the process. And then she took those videos and she uploaded them to YouTube into a buyer library, a seller's library, and it's an unlisted playlist, so you can't just find it on YouTube. You have to have a link to it directly. So she takes those links and she built email templates. I don't know why I'm doing air quotes, but email templates. She built email templates in which those links were placed, and it had some basic instructions in the text as well. And so whenever one of her deals crosses one of those waypoints in the course of the escrow, her admin is trained to know, send this email to that buyer, send this email to that seller. And it's got the video link inside of it and all the works. And it cuts way back on her client communication because she is proactively taking the information to the buyer, to the seller, versus waiting for them to text or email or call with questions and then having to be reactionary. She's being proactive and it's super smart. Now, I know this isn't necessarily totally automatic or automated, but it's automated enough that it most certainly deserves placement in this topic here. So the advice is make a contract to close video email sequence library, whatever word you want to give to it, so that you can proactively take the information to your buyers, to your sellers, and they're going to be like, oh, wow, thank you. That was amazing. It was I can't believe how on top of this process you really are. You really are a great agent. And all the while, it's saving you massive times of fielding questions, text, calls, and so forth. So shout out to Erica Wolf for the amazing idea. Now, idea number 4 in terms of marketing automation, I love this idea, and that is to utilize some kind of an AI, artificial intelligence copywriting tool for SEO purposes. Now, SEO stands for search engine optimization. What am I really talking about? Well, let's zoom out for a second. You're posting content regularly on social media, Instagram, Facebook, whatever. Just kind of roll with me. You are. Let's just imagine that you are. You're posting content, but here's the challenge. You've heard me say before, like the lifespan, the life expectancy of that content is kind of like a fruit fly. It might live for like a day, maybe 2 days, and as it burns through the feeds, it literally just goes kapooey. And at the end of that time, it's just done. But when you blog your content, in other words, every respective social media post becomes its own blog post on your website, well, your blog lives on in the afterlife of SEO. And so your videos, your social content can kind of go on and on and on and on and keep generating clicks on Google and keep getting read and watched and viewed, and it can keep working on your behalf. Now, the problem for a lot of agents is, okay, I love the idea of putting my videos and my content on a blog post, but the caption that I use on the social post is really short. It's not enough for a blog. Well, that's where a tool, an AI copywriting tool like Jasper.ai comes in handy. You see, Jasper has this thing they call their long form assistant. So literally all you have to do is take your little caption from Instagram or whatever, copy and paste it into the Jasper long form assistant, press a blue button that generates the AI output, and then presto, you've got a full-blown blog post. It scans the entire web, it gains an understanding of what your topic is, and it actually writes effective copy. I mean, truly, it writes good copy. I would proofread it, I would. But it's really good copy that you can then just copy and paste as the copy for your blog. Are you with me on that? You should be using AI copywriting tools so that you can take your social content and turn it into blogs in a really meaningful SEO-rich kind of way. Marketing automation idea number 5 is the meta inbox automations. You're like, what is the meta inbox in the first place? All right, well, let's take a step back for a moment. You got your Facebook business page, you've got your Instagram account. Meta owns all of that stuff, and actually they give you a unified inbox whereby in one place, through the Meta Unified Inbox, you can see all your Instagram direct messages, you can see all your Facebook private messages, you can see all your comments from Instagram, you can see all your comments from Facebook, and you can actually reply and manage all that stuff in Meta's Unified Inbox. And also within that inbox, Meta has automations. Now, side note, most of the automations are more designed for Facebook than Instagram, but they're getting there, okay? They're getting there. Such as you have the ability to set up what's called an FAQ, frequently asked questions. So when somebody messages you, it can automatically give a menu of frequently asked questions and try to drive maybe some lead gen or some inquiries or things like that based upon what your customers commonly ask. There's also this automation called custom keywords. So think about it like this. Imagine you build a custom keyword trigger where when somebody says the word buy or sell or refer, it has the ability to see that word in the message, and then it will automatically reply with a canned response based upon that. That's designed to try to drive some kind of an interaction between you and that prospective customer. You do that with the Meta inbox. Check out their automations. They're pretty cool, and they're really getting better over time, so keep an eye on it. Idea number 6, I'm gonna go super high level on this one and just kind of keep it easy, but you have the ability with Facebook to set up Facebook automated ads. All you gotta do is head to your Facebook page, not your profile. You can't run ads with the profile. To your page, you click on the Ad Center, and it's gonna give you a few options of the types of ads you might consider setting up, one of which is automated ads. And it's got a guided wizard. It couldn't be easier to set this up. It's gonna ask you questions like, what's your goals? Do you want engagement on your content? Do you wanna drive people to a specific web page? Maybe you have a buyer page or a seller page or things like that, just different calls to action that you want to reinforce. And you can say, I'm going to spend this much money per day or whatever. And it just kind of runs in the background with automatic ads. So if you have certain people who start engaging with your content suddenly or something along those lines, then Facebook, because it has an automatic ad running, can automatically decide, hey, I should retarget those people with this offer that goes to this web page because they might be interested. The point is, it's general and it's automatic. It's not overly sophisticated. It's easy to set up, but really the use case that made me put it on this list is, what if people do engage with the video that you posted or something like that? Or just suddenly they followed you and they're looking at your content. How cool would it be if you basically employed Facebook to go looking for those kinds of trends and then automatically start targeting ads at them that are designed to get folks to take action on key offers for your business? Number 7, this idea is a big idea, so stay with me for a second, and that is to use dynamic Google search ads. Now, this is not a full training on Google search ads. Please, please, please don't think that it is, because there's a lot of nuance when it comes to Google ads. However, when you think about traditional Google search ads, the way they typically work is some person's on Google search and they type in specific words, a query into the search bar. And their words, i.e. their keywords, may prompt or trigger an ad to show up. So most Google search ads are basically the result of somebody types specific words or phrases in Google that then cause the ad to show up. That's a Google search ad. Well, a dynamic search ad is kind of inverted from that. So instead of telling Google the keywords you want to bid on, you instead say, hey, Google, scan my website, and you find the keywords that you want to bid on based upon the contents of my website. So when somebody Googles your name or specific things that you might blog about a lot, or maybe you have some key landing pages for buyers in your area or sellers in your area or referrals between agents, whatever, you can basically say, hey, Google, you can fully scan my website, and if you see keywords in the titles of my blogs or pages or specific dominant information, I sanction you to create ads automatically. And what's cool about dynamic search ads is they are dynamically generated. So you don't actually have to write the headlines. What it will do is if somebody does a Google search for best way to sell my house in Albuquerque, and let's say that your page ranks there, you have content for that, what it will do is dynamically generate a headline whereby it basically mirrors the language of the query back to that user, back to that searcher. So in other words, it's kind of a set it and forget it. As you publish new content on your page, it automatically gets indexed by Google and added to the ad campaign. And so it just keeps kicking up. It's kind of like a flywheel. It just keeps kicking up ads based upon the content you feed to your website automatically. So it's really cool. Dynamic search ads, you should check them out. Marketing automation idea number 8 is so easy. And so I'm going to talk so fast because I'm guessing you're already doing it. And if you're not, you will be like in about 45 seconds. And that is to use a tool like Calendly to make it easy for scheduling appointments. I use Calendly because it's awesome. You can create different types of events. For example, I've got 15-minute meetings, 30-minute meetings, hour-long meetings, whatever. And I can create different rules. So for example, people can't schedule within this frame of time. It can't conflict with this calendar or that calendar. There's all kinds of rules you can build out, and there are integrations. So for example, I can make it a Zoom meeting where my Zoom automatically provides the link so I don't have to create a Zoom meeting. My point is, if you're dealing with manually scheduling calendar events, you should really look at a tool like Calendly. That is an automation that I am confident saying you need in your business. Marketing automation idea number 9. This one's pretty darn technical, but we're gonna roll with it because I know you can do this, and that is to retarget folks with custom audiences on Facebook ads, which by the way, Facebook ads also includes Instagram ads because they're all owned by Meta. Now, what does retargeting mean? Retargeting means somebody left a fingerprint, so to speak, meaning they watched one of your videos, they went to your website, they did something by which you can retarget them with your ad campaigns on Facebook and Instagram. I know this is technical, but just stay with me for a second. Facebook and Instagram offer what are called custom audiences. These are basically the different types of audiences you can build to retarget. They're all retargeting lists. For example, I can install a Facebook pixel on my website that allows Facebook to have some optics in terms of who's on my website so that I can then turn around and retarget those people with Facebook ads and Instagram ads. Now, I'd be remiss if I didn't say it, because of things like the app tracking transparency framework and different online privacy stuff that's going on, that pixel's not as good as it used to be, but it's still worth having in place. And what I like about it that's automatic, this is kind of why it's in the automated talk, is because it is always growing. So as people come to your website, that pixel keeps growing and growing and growing on an automatic basis, working in the background. And there are other types of custom audiences. So for example, I can set up a custom audience whereby I retarget anybody who engages with me on Instagram or Facebook or whatever. My point as we talk about marketing automation is to start thinking about, are you creating lists of people who could be targeted, or in this case, retargeted with your ads? That's kind of a high level advanced one, but if you're ready for it, if you're thinking about it, it's part of your automation startup. And finally, marketing automation idea number 10, and this one's awesome, and that is to do handwritten notes at scale using tools like audience.co or addressable-mail.com. No favorites per se, although I'm the most familiar with audience.co, whereby what you do is they basically say, hey, write out this letter and mail it back to us. So you write something down, you mail it back to them. It's not like other companies that say, hey, we make a custom font based upon your handwriting, but then when they mail out the cards, they clearly just printed and it looks like a printed font. It doesn't look legitimate. No. These companies like audience.co, for instance, they have handwriting robots that are literally holding a pen and they write your font out. And they can, like a human, they can hold the pen like this or like this. They can press hard or soft. They can vary the way they do it so it's so close to a human, it looks legitimately handwritten. So the idea here is really simple. It's how do you automate something like handwritten notes, something that would seem like completely non-automated at all. And you do it without getting writer's cramp in your hand because you keep writing notes and your handwriting keeps getting sloppier over time. There are tools out there that can streamline this and automate this whereby you could actually farm an entire neighborhood with handwritten notes. You could target the neighbors around your listings with handwritten notes. You could target your past clients in Sphere with handwritten notes. You could do it like one-to-many or one-to-one, whatever. You can do it at scale. You can do it automatically. That's the point. This is all about marketing automation. And so there you have it, 10 ideas to get you started down the path of marketing automation. Some of these ideas are easy, some are technical, some are like really automated, some are kind of partially automated. Use your own discretion, but my point to you is get systematic, get automatic in terms of how you position and market your business because there's so much opportunity out there. Marketing automation may be easily thought of as too complex, too crazy, too sophisticated, only for big businesses, enterprises. And I hope today's video proved just how wrong that notion is. The ball's in your court. Seize the opportunity with marketing automation. Now, if this video was useful, it would mean a ton to us if you could give it a thumbs up, if you could leave a comment and share your feedback with us. We would love to hear your feedback. And again, if you have not yet subscribed, please make sure to do so. And so until next week, this is This Week in Marketing.
Where could you go to get tuned up, to get your mindset right, to get an unlimited number of marketing and lead generation strategies to win even more listings? The answer, my friend, is obvious. The Success Summit in Dallas, August 23rd through the 25th. If you want to be surrounded by thousands of like-minded individuals that are not buying into the noise, but instead staying mentally tough and most importantly, earning the money that they desire, then you need to join us. So to make your reservation, just go to tomferry.com/summit. Make sure you put in the promo code SUMMIT15, that's SUMMIT15, to get 15% off your ticket. I can't wait to see you at this year's Success Summit.